Okay. Sorry everyone for the delay. I had to get some stuff sorted out. A family pet's just gone into the vets. That rhymed. So there's been a bit of chaos going on. He's had to be put to sleep, unfortunately. Long time family bearded dragon, Rocky, has been taken to the vets and been put to sleep. Which obviously that sort of made everything a bit chaotic. But yeah, thank you all for sticking around. Let's see who we've got in here then. Let's start from the beginning. Let's just do what we always do and just read a bit of the chat. So we've got Nick Studios YT, Angry Pacifist, Lewis Z033, Alternate 13th, of course, Enigmatic Joker, Hoovian 10, obviously, Dan23, I said that Enigmatic Joker already, Kira Westerner, or Westerner, I hope I'm saying that correctly, I'm probably not. You gotta remember, I probably butcher every and any name out there, so apologies for that. Shrek Swag, I love that name, great name, Shrek Swag. I think, have we got everyone? Or have I missed somebody? I think I've got everyone. And I think down 23 as well. So there we go. Alright, that's all the names read out. And with that said, I'm going to get immediately Hey Squinks as well and Strange Folks. Yeah, he's been with us for 6 years. So yeah, it was kind of a shock to have him go into hospital. I wasn't expecting that today. So yeah, for every good thing that goes on, there's like another one bit bad thing to cancel it out. But such is the way with lockdown. But with that said, I guess let's just get directly into it because I don't want this stream to be too much of a Debbie Downer, if you like. I like to keep these streams high energy and high, high entertainment. And I guess yeah, let's just get into it. I'll shrink myself down and we'll get right into the news items for today because we've got quite a few that I thought were interesting, and that's the wrong one. That is not what I wanted at all. That's what I wanted. Let me activate that. I'm very good at streaming. No, it's a lie. I'm very terrible at it actually, but I do enjoy it. All right, I'll put this here so you can still see me nice and well. Okay, so first item on the agenda. I'm a bit late to this, but there's been a lot of birthdays going on. First one being, of course, to Mr. David Bradley, who played William Hartnell / the First Doctor in Adventure in Space and Time and in Twice Upon a Time as well. I think he's really good in Adventure in Space and Time. He captures the mannerisms really, really well, in my opinion. It's a shame about the way he's written in Twice Upon a Time, but I genuinely think that he is the closest thing we can get now to having the First Doctor back again. So yeah, he does a great job of that. And of course, obviously, some of you also might know him from Harry Potter and stuff like that. So happy birthday to David Bradley. Obviously, I like to start the stream with birthdays because it's quite positive. We also had the birthday of Camille Cowdery. I'm probably not saying that right again, so I apologise for that. Who played Rose Tyler's mum, Jackie. So happy birthday to her. She's actually, I think, one of the more underrated characters. Like, I think her comedic timing is very good. She always knows like how to deliver stuff to like give it the most comedy value. So yeah, happy birthday to her as well as the big 10th Doctor man himself, David Tennant. And I thought, similar to the last Doctor one we did, obviously you couldn't really do it with David Bradley because your two choices are basically Adventure in Space and Time, which kind of counts as a Doctor episode, kind of doesn't, it depends where you sit on that. It's more of a documentary type thing, really. Or obviously Twice Upon a Time, which isn't that great of an episode. Or, I guess if you want to be technical, the very end of Doctor Falls. But I thought, seeing as it was the 10th Doctor's birthday recently, I thought you guys could say what your favourite 10th Doctor story was. So for me, it was probably Human Nature Family of Blood. I really like that story. Actually, no, tell a lie. Turn Left's my favourite one. Although that would be like a close second or third. Turn Left, I really like alternate timeline stories. I really like how desolate and just sort of depressing it is. It's the most depressing, probably, RTD era Who gets. And my favorite scene, one of my favorite scenes of Doctor Who of all time, is the scene with Wilf and the guy who they've been staying with, and he gets sent off to a camp, and of course Wilf knows exactly what that means, and you can just see it on his face. Bernard Cribbins does an excellent job there. Yeah, that is definitely my favorite David Tennant story. I just love that like everything that could go wrong goes wrong. I think it's a really interesting concept, and one that I think only works because of how good the world building is in the RTD era. So I think, yeah, Turn Left for me. Although there are some pretty strong contenders, you know, Midnight, as I said earlier, Human Nature, Family of Blood. Yeah, there's given some pretty strong stories in that era, but yeah, that's my favourite. But what are your guys' favourite? Let's have a look. Probably Human Nature or Rise of the Cybermen. Rise of the Cybermen is solid. Waters of Mars is great. Yeah, that's fair. I really like how that just completely pushes the Doctor completely over the edge. That stuff is great. Absolutely, yeah. Turn Left's top 10 for sure. I just really like the concept of Turn Left, even though, like, I mean, you could argue that Midnight's the better episode, but for me, just the concept of, like, everything going wrong, I just really dig that. So yeah, Turn Left for me. Yeah, Doctor Who also Instagram also posts about the birthdays. I'm more on Twitter, so I just use Twitter normally. Turn Left's also technically a trickster story, kind of. I mean, I know the Beetle person is from the Pantheon of Discord or whatever it's called, which is a weird name, but yeah. So we got some varying opinions on the Tennant era there, which was cool. In some more sad news, we unfortunately had to see the passing of Helen McCroy, who, if you remember, played the central antagonists in Vampires of Venice. There's a husband underneath here. There's a statement from the husband underneath here, which I won't read because obviously it's quite personal. And I like to keep the tone quite light in these streams, but I thought, you know, it would be important to mention the sadder things that have happened. On the topic of sadder things, we've got one more. Oh, actually, no. There's one more as well. Birthday today to Louise Jameson, who played the Fourth Doctor's friend, Leela. So yeah, happy birthday to Louise Jameson as well. Lots of birthdays. Recently also saw the 10-year anniversary of Victory of the Daleks. Now this is where I'm probably going to oust myself, because I actually don't think Victory of the Daleks is that bad. Sure, it's not a great Dalek story, but I don't think it quite deserves the negative reputation that it gets. I think a lot of the negativity from it comes from the fact that obviously the Paradigm Daleks were such a controversial design, but I even don't mind the Paradigm that much. Like, yeah, the colours might be a bit too contrasting. I think, thinking about it now, it might have been a bad idea to introduce them alongside the Ironsides, because of, you know, they were a very good design, and especially in that army green, I really like that design. So to see them next to the Paradigm Daleks probably was jarring for some people. But, and obviously the fact that they kill off the old Daleks that we'd grown to really enjoy at that point, I think that might have alienated some people somewhat as far as this design goes, which normally would be a good thing as they're aliens. I'm sorry. But yeah, I don't really mind Victory of the Daleks that much, and I remember it coming out actually, and I remember like the Easter eggs. I don't know whether anyone remember this, but they did like Paradigm Dalek Easter eggs. They did a red one and they did a blue one. I'm not sure whether they did a white one, but I never saw anything Paradigm related really for the other two colors. I mainly just saw red and blue, and then maybe white if you were lucky in terms of Paradigm Dalek stuff. But yeah, I don't think Victory's that bad. Obviously it doesn't, like, yeah, I think it's a bit too patriotic for my liking, probably. But I mean, you know, I actually kind of enjoy it. I mean, having the Daleks in World War II, it just made perfect sense. And I you know, it's one of the few times in, you know, it's the last time really that the Doctor properly gets angry at the Daleks, because that was the sort of thing that started in Dalek, and this is the last time we really see it, because after that he's just really light and jovial with them, and I kind of like how he's not like that in this story. But moving on to some more sad news. Obviously, the other day marks the 10-year anniversary of the passing of Elizabeth Sladen. And I'm going to go briefly full screen for this, because obviously I just wanted to talk about my personal effects with Liz Sladen, because she was just such an inspiration for me growing up, because obviously I've said before, I posted a tweet about this. She was pretty much my childhood Doctor for like the first few years of me being a Doctor Who fan, because back when I was a kid, you know, Saturdays it was very much a family evening, so what was on was what appealed to the majority of people, as in both my parents and myself and my brothers. And obviously, because I was only the really one who was really into Doctor Who, more often than not, I would end up having to watch some god-awful talent show. But during the day, obviously, Sarah Jane Adventures offered me a great alternative to Doctor Who. And I think I owe a lot to Liz Sladen for being a fan today. And obviously, you've got her classic adventures as well, which are just great too. I know a lot of people have been, I think, become more critical of Sarah Jane as a character over the years, but I think certainly we owe a lot to Liz Sladen for, I mean, at least I do. I owe a lot to Liz Sladen for me being a fan today. She really was an inspiration, and I think, I might not still be a fan without her, so thank you, Liz Sladen. But I just thought I'd get a bit more personal with that, because, she really meant a lot to me, and it was actually kind of bizarre that the death of Liz Sladen was 10 years ago, because I remember that happening. And I remember Tommy Knight and the Clyde Langer actor, I can never remember his name, coming on TV, and just, they looked so shocked and saddened by the whole thing. And that was the first time that I genuinely felt sad over a celebrity death. Like, few other times since, really, as it happened to that extent. Like, I guess Gene Wilder might have been another one, because obviously, I guess I just loved Willy Wonka as a kid. But, yeah, Liz Sladen, it's crazy to me that it was 10 years ago, because I still remember it so well. But yeah, so rest in peace, Liz Sladen. But yeah, moving on to other things. Sorry, that got a bit personal. I don't know why. My goal for this stream wasn't to be super personal, but I guess it's just me being sad day to day. Oop, that's a bit too small. Good God. Oop, that's not the right way at all. There we go. Right. I know there's some people who just, you click a button and they go in and out of, full screen mode. I need to figure out how to do that, but, right now I'm just sort of manipulating the elements myself. Next thing I want to talk about is the Chris Eccleston sort of interview where he answers, fans' questions. And I want to talk about why I really enjoyed this. But it's because, and I posted this on Twitter as well. Basically, this is just an advert for my Twitter. Go follow me on Twitter, @TharisYT. You might even be able to see it in the corner there. We're trying to get to, I think I'd like to get to 1K on the account at some point. But if you haven't already, please do follow me over there. I'd really appreciate it. But yeah, so he basically answered a lot of questions. And the thing that really struck me was he was asked a question about why he came back to the role. And he was really honest about it being paid work, and that he wanted to do it to support his kids. And you know what? I really respect that, because a lot of actors, despite that perhaps being their motivation, wouldn't have really dared say that in fear of how they might be judged for saying such a statement. So I really just appreciate how honest he is about it. Sometimes he might be a bit, I guess, what's the word? He might read things incorrectly. There's one question about, after being distant from the role, how did you find it coming back in? And he said something like, well, that's your opinion. And it's well, you were sort of distant from the role, but at least that's his honest opinion is what I'm trying to get at. At least he says how he feels genuinely. And I really appreciate that about Christopher Eccleston. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say on that, really. In a slightly, smaller bit of news, we got this picture of Jodie holding a clapboard. I know it's tiny, but, I thought I'd at least say that I covered it. The message from Instagram says, I got a cool message a couple of weeks back from Scott Waller89 asking me to make a couple of Doctor Who macro boards, as the Doctor herself wanted to get one. I was even more stoked when Evan Gellin Davis sent me over a picture of Jodie, aka the Doctor, holding one of my macro clipboards. How bloody awesome is that? Thank you again to Scott for getting in touch, Evangeline for the pic, and of course the Doctor. Oh, that's cool that she wanted one. It's weird, we've seen more footage of clapperboards, I think, than any other era in terms of filming. I seem to see them a lot. in filming. Obviously, when they announced that Series 13 was filming and it was going to be 8 episodes, they used a picture of a clapperboard, and obviously here, Jodie wanted one of her own to memorialise the clapperboard that is used, I suppose. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about what we've been talking about so far. Yeah, let me know. I just call him Clyde. Yeah, I do as well, to be fair, because I feel really bad for doing that, because obviously it is such a, he is such an iconic character, but I just never remember his name. Elizabeth Sladen passed away. So did Mary Tam. Yeah, it's so sad. Yeah, he genuinely seems excited to come back. Yeah, he really does. And, he doesn't shy away from the fact that he struggled. Okay, so the leak, we're getting to that in a minute, but I want to, hype it up a little bit. I want to build up the leak a bit, because we got one more thing to talk about, I think, before that. Hello, Hula Man, how are you doing? But yeah, let's get into the next thing, which is, Matt Smith recently had some interesting things to say about the role of the Doctor. I've only heard briefly about this, so we're going to quickly read over that. Obviously, this is in The Guardian. It was more about the Crown, because obviously Prince Philip died. But I'm not much of a royalist, so I'm sort of just skipping that to talk about the Doctor Who stuff. If you want to read the whole thing, just go on the Guardian website. But for Smith, the day his life changed forever came in January 2009, when he was unveiled as the 11th Doctor at age 26. The youngest actor to play the 1,000-year-old time traveller. It wasn't that he was a long shot to replace the popular David Tennant. He didn't feature on anyone's list outside the BBC. More than one publication announced the news with the headline, Doctor Who, ? Which I feel like they do with the majority of them. They're like, oh, this person isn't mainstream enough. But anyway, the response was immediate, and it was especially confounding for Smith, who was far from a rabid fan of the show. No, I'd never seen it, he says. Nothing can prepare you, nothing. I literally, overnight, as soon as I was announced, 5 reporters turned up to your mum and dad's house with cameras. Overnight, they then go to your granddad's house. Then they approach every one of your best friends. It was that intrusive. I actually really appreciate how honest he is about it being intrusive, because again, I think a lot of celebrities are afraid to sort of speak out against the tabloids and speak out against journalists, I guess, because they're afraid of how they'll be painted by them. But I think actually that's been a big benefit of the internet, is that it's given the tabloids less control, which I think is a good thing. Yeah, I was 26 and I didn't claim to be a saint, Smith continues. I was a 26-year-old and I thought about saying no, and my agent quickly dispelled that idea. I bet they did. But I did. I genuinely thought, is this where I want to take myself? Smith's casting success, both with hardcore fans and in the ratings, but Smith was a casting success, both with hardcore fans and in the ratings, and he is happy with the decision, broadly speaking. Doctor Who was demanding hours, undoubtedly the greatest workload you will ever take on, bar none. But it provided an unbeatable education in leading a show, plus this role is a gift for any actor. There's a reason why no recurring part, even James Bond, attracts such frenzied speculation when it's up for regeneration. Yeah, it's true. I think this is the role that people speculate about the most, the whole point of the series that I've been doing recently about, tabloids just throwing every name out there. It's just to show, how rabid the speculation is around the next Doctor, as it always is. The part's so good, says Smith. He can do anything. He can go from A to Z like any other character you play. Prince Pearl, for instance, you have to go through at least D, F, G, P before you get to Z. But the Doctor goes from A to Z, B to Y, flips it up, and you don't have to explain that because he's an alien who's 1,000 years old. He's seen more than you have. He's done more than you do. He's seen much more tragedy. That's it's made him really funny. When Jodie Whittaker was announced earlier this year as the 13th Doctor, this must be old then. Wait, what? No, because this is about him paying tribute to Prince Philip. So it wasn't this year at all, but, okay, that's a bit of a goof on the Guardian's part, but, Smith rang up her and sang the theme tune to her in voicemail. Does he have any more useful advice in advance for her Christmas debut? Oh, I just think she'll have a wonderful time, he says. but the shift in your life is extraordinary because it crosses generations. So when she goes, unless they're talking in past tense, which I think they might be, so when she goes to a wedding, she's not going to the wedding anymore as Jodie Whittaker, she's going as the Doctor. When she goes to a funeral, she's not going to a funeral as Jodie Whittaker, she's going as the Doctor. At her local cafe, they'll talk to you about that, because you can't help but attach that to you. Something changes in perception of everyone else around you. Smith, who stepped down from the role in the 2013 Christmas special, feared that he would never outgrow the role, or worse, that he would be defined by the celebrity it imparted. In the event, he is making a decent stab at writing an alternative script after he wrapped Doctor Who. He signed up for a musical version of American Psycho, directed by Rupert Gold at the Almeida Theatre. I'm probably saying that wrong. His Patrick Bateman was required to appear on stage in just tighty whities and an eye mask, and more terrifyingly, had to belt out 80s pop. Next year he will appear in the lead role in a biopic photographer, Robert Mapplethorpe, whose work on underground BDSM, in New York in the 1960s and 70s, caused national outrage in America. Alright, I'm going to skip a bit, because I'm going to just go to Doctor Who, I think. I think, is that it? I swear there was something more to this, but maybe there wasn't. I guess, maybe. Let me just see if there was any more. I don't really know if there's any more than that, which is kind of, I thought there was more than that, but maybe I'm on the wrong article. I don't know. But, yeah. So that's just a bit from Matt Smith there, which was quite interesting, I guess. I swear there was a bit, maybe it was another article, maybe I'm on the wrong article, a bit about him keeping the screwdriver and stuff. But, yeah, if any of you guys can find the other article that he talks in, feel free to send that over to me. But I've kept you all waiting long enough. Let's get into this sort of leak discussion speculation thing. Before we do, I want to say a couple of things. This is just something that I've come together. You're going to need the context of my previous leak video. So if you haven't seen that, is there any mods in the chat? I think Pacifist is in the chat. If you could just put it in the chat, Pacifist, I'd really appreciate that. So if you haven't seen that, this might not make a lot of sense to you, or they'll give you a brief once-over. So it's not essential, but obviously, if you haven't seen it, it makes more sense with that context. However, as I said, the one thing I want to say before we get into the big leak is if you do want to support the stream, super chatting is a great way to do that. I'm really appreciative of it, of course. We've had an insane sort of couple months on the channel recently. It's been bonkers, and I really thank you for all your support. But with that, let's get into this. So last night, you may know that I posted a video on this, which is a leak from Cardiff, and it's got this weird castle-like area, and it's got that weird triangular alien object in the middle. And I said in that video that it looked a bit like where they filmed Jodie's reveal trailer. Now, someone by the name of Tony L said that it's what's known as a trig point on a peak. This is where the key is in the previous pick. So I said, wait, so is this where actually the key was last time? And I hope I'm not embarrassing Tony L here, but and he said, yeah, if you track up a mountain like Ben Nevis, there's a trig point on the top of the mountain. I think the clue with the key on the trig point is either to do with where Jodie is from, or where it's set, which is Sheffield, where the Peak district is. So this is quite interesting for a number of reasons, because if you look at the footage from 13's reveal, she is in a castle-y area. She is in somewhere that looks similar to this. And if you guys remember, I can't play the original reveal trailer, because if I do, I will get copyright claimed to all hell. But if you guys remember, part of the marketing for 13 prior to when she was revealed was that the Tardis key was basically materializing on all these different monoliths throughout, like, the country, and, in these, like, castle areas. So here's my theory. What if this was all a part of Chibnall's plan to begin with? What if Jodie's final place is in fact one of these places? And if that rumour about the TARDIS dying is to be believed, it would make sense that the very place that you would go to fix it would be the place that, the TARDIS key materialised in the first place in the teaser trailer, which would be on one of these monolith pit things at the top of a hill. This might be an extreme long shot, but I think there's more to this, because it just looked eerily similar, and I was like, I think there might be more to this. And the fact that he said that, yeah, it's a thing, it's what's known as a trig point, and these trig points are where the TARDIS key was materializing in the teaser video, that's just made me wonder, maybe this will tie in to how Jodie dies. Maybe she tries to fix the TARDIS, because like how in the Ninth Doctor's regeneration he absorbs the time vortex. Maybe that's what's happening with Jodie. Maybe she'll try and fix the TARDIS, but something will go wrong, and she'll absorb like a blast or something, and that'll be the end for her Doctor. Either way, I think there would be something awfully poetic about her basically dying in the same place that she was revealed in. And if that was the plan all along, I mean, I gotta hand it to them. They've kept that very quiet. Maybe I'm giving Chibnall too much credit, I don't know. But I just think that, this is an awful coincidence to me. Especially considering that comment, that it just got my mind racing with ideas about what could be. And I think I think there's a high chance that these things are related. Because I think, why not? It's going to be a very obscure reference, but I mean, so were the Morbius Doctors, so I don't think it's that out of possibility, I suppose. But let me know what you guys think about the theory. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think that's something that can happen? Do you guys think it's not something that's going to happen? The TARDIS isn't so safe. The TARDIS isn't so safe. Things keep getting in it. That's true, exactly. Because I'll go big screen. Maybe actually I won't, because I'll leave the keys on screen. So yeah, in series 12, a running joke in that series was, there was that line in series 1 about not even the assembled hordes of Genghis Khan can get through those doors, and believe me, they've tried. And then in series 12, everything gets in it. So maybe that is a sign of the TARDIS getting weaker. Maybe that is something that was being built up throughout this whole thing. Yeah, James Fraser, I saw your theory as well, and it just got my mind racing even more about this possibility, because I think it could happen. I think this thing is a possibility for certain, which is why I wanted to talk about it. Do you think they'll retcon the Timeless Child and say the Master is one? I don't think the current state of the Timeless Child is how it's going to stay. I don't think that's the permanent state of where it is, because the problem with the Timeless Child is, they've literally been saying they've not really developed it any further. She just keeps asking, who am I? And they just go, well, you're the Doctor. And it's not really developed any further beyond that. So in my opinion, it could well just, I think it's going to be changed in Series 13. I think we're going to find out something more about the Timeless Child in Series 13, and I think it will make the fact about the Timeless Child that we learned in Series 12 kind of inaccurate. Because obviously there's that line from one of those Reddit leaks about, you are the Timeless Child, but you are not the Doctor. A sick TARDIS, yeah, basically. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time the TARDIS has, struggled before. There's been many stories in which, they've got to try and get the ship operational again. So I think, that would be quite a poetic way to end it, really. The fact that the key has Artral Energy in 13's trailer is very interesting. Yeah, that's true. I mean, what if, maybe that's a sign that, the TARDIS is breaking down, that the Artral Energy is actually spilling out into the outside world. I know this is, wild speculation on my part, but I genuinely think there might be something in this. Because the only other time, to my knowledge, we've seen Artral Energy spilling out the TARDIS in such a manner is, I believe, the Sarah Jane Adventures episode, which actually, it's kind of funny that we talked about Sarah Jane Adventures earlier, because that's the only other time I can think of Artral Energy spilling out. I can check actually the 10th Doctor. Oh, shoot. Sarah Jane Adventures. See if I can find an image of the TARDIS in that story. Adventures. See if I can find an image of the TARDIS being all glowy and weird. I might not be able to, but Sarah Jane Adventures. I just want to see if I can find the TARDIS. If anyone, yeah, I'll just 10th Doctor, Sarah Jane Adventures. But yeah, my point is, that's the only other time that we've seen the TARDIS having, like, Artral Energy spilling out, to my knowledge. I don't think I'm going to find a decent shot, which is a shame. But, you know, oh well. What can you do about it? Yeah, so that's basically the only other time we've seen Artral Energy spilling out into the world, basically. And the only reason that was happening was because, basically, the Doctor and co were trapped into a different second as Sarah Jane and her fiancé, Peter Dalton. So perhaps this is a sign of the TARDIS not working correctly. Maybe it does all connect. I don't know. I think it's all very coincidental if it doesn't match up in any way. You know, maybe it doesn't, and maybe this is just a really far reach, but I think that, yeah. It happens in Death of Doctor Who when Clyde and Eleven switch places. Does it? It happens there as well. Okay, fair enough. So yeah, but like, actually, interestingly, the only times it really happens is in Sarah Jane Adventures. Yeah, no, I spoke about that earlier, Gaz, about Elizabeth Sladen's being 10 years since her passing, and I said earlier, it's honestly so weird to me that it's been 10 years, because it feels so recent to me still. The episode is the wedding. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was literally. Yeah, no, that's what I mean. Like, that episode is one of the few times we see Artral Energy properly spilling out, because Clyde Langer uses it against the Trickster in that episode. So I'm thinking maybe it's the sign of the TARDIS not working well. But let me know what you guys think about this, whether it could be a thing or not. Whether I'm just clasping at straws, I guess. I'd be interested to know. I'd be interested to know what you guys think. I mean, the energy is mentioned a few times in class. Yeah, it's mentioned, but what I mean is, like, quite often it's not meant to be something that, comes out of the TARDIS. It's just, it's fuel source, basically. So, to see it actually spilling out of the TARDIS would not be a good thing. Do you think 8-episode count is good or bad idea to use in future series? I said this a couple times before. I think it's fine. I totally understood the reasoning for Series 13 because of COVID and stuff. But I don't really like the idea of it being the case going forward. For the simple fact being that it's us that end up missing out at the end of the day, because we're the ones who get less content, realistically. Like, there'll be justifications for it out the wazoo if they do carry it on beyond 2021. But realistically, I think one of people's concerns about the episode reduction for Series 13 was that this might give the BBC the added incentive to just continue cutting episodes. Not saying that will happen, but it would give them that excuse, essentially. I'll make myself full screen for a bit, I think. But yeah, it would basically give them that excuse to be like, so 8 episodes went over okay last time and no one complained. Maybe we could do it again, kind of thing. And I really wouldn't want them to do that, because that just means less content, basically. Which, like, even though Doctor Who, like, it's not to my personal tastes right now, I still want it to be doing well. I still want it to be in a good place. I still want it to be in a a solid, good place, and I think that if you keep making the episodes less and less, that's not a sign of the show in a good place, if that makes sense. if they do keep it at 8, it will probably make the gaps longer. That will probably make the hype less. Wait, surely if they were making less episodes though, that the gap between series would be less. Although having said that, having said that, like, maybe it's just not. Maybe it would be equally as long. I don't know. But I feel like if they were going to make it less, surely the turnaround time would be less. Like, because I'm guessing that's the main reason as to why Series 13 is coming along so quickly, or at least part of the reason is because there's less episode count. Because I thought, honestly, after Revolution of the Daleks aired, we were going to have to wait till 2022 for Series 13, with the way this production team has operated so far, so I was actually quite surprised to see that it was airing this year. I really imagine it. Yeah, alternate 13th. You've kind of hit my point on the nail on the head there. If we still get less episodes and a longer wait, that would just be the worst case scenario. That would be like the worst thing to happen. Like, that would be like the worst of both worlds. But apparently someone sent me an image of what I was looking for on Twitter, so I'll take a look at that now. I'll see if I can... here we go. Right, I'll put this on screen now, because I wanted to talk about this earlier. So, I'm just gonna... Alright, so you can see here, this is Mr. David Tennant, holding Mr. Clyde Langer's hand. Again, I don't remember the actors, I'm so sorry. But as you can see here, the TARDIS isn't quite fully formed, because it's only got the doors, and there's like Artral Energy stuff all around. So I'm thinking, and that only happens when, time's messed up, which in this case, it is. So I'm thinking maybe, because again, looking at the key image, if I can go back, if we look again at the key image, Artral Energy showing on the outside of the key, and then if we look again, Artral Energy coming outside of the TARDIS. So, from what we know already, that's not meant to be a good thing. So if this was like some subtle threading that like that's going to play a part in Series 13, then I mean, I'd be impressed. But, it could just be nothing. It could just be that they liked the blue effect when Artral Energy's been depicted before, and as such they used it for the key. It could be as simple as that, and I'm probably looking way too far into this, but yeah, for me, I think it's, I just think it's a very big coincidence that the place that Series 13 is filming is eerily similar to Jodie's reveal, and I think, there'd be a missed opportunity if those two weren't tied in together somehow, at least. But yeah, that's that, basically. That's my thoughts on that. But thank you to Dan23 for sending that over. I'll go big screen again for you guys. Whoop. Like to one of the at this rate the next series will have half an episode. Yeah, this is the problem. Like, that's the thing. If we keep making excuses for them to lower the episode count, there is the fear that it'll just keep getting cut and cut and cut and cut, to the point where there just won't be anything left. The TARDIS is in the Jodie trailer was the 10th Doctor's TARDIS. That's true, actually. I'll just keep myself low screen, actually, because I keep trying to make myself big screen because I think it looks nicer. But whatever. You're gonna just see the studio every now and again. But yeah. So if we look in the other pictures, they did use the 10th Doctor PNG TARDIS. Again, that could be just them being lazy. Or it could actually be a hint towards this arc, maybe. I don't know. It's probably not. That's probably a bit of a reach. But, I think, yeah, there's definitely a possibility. I think something could be done with this. We'll end up with the specials format every year. Yeah, imagine if we only got one special every year. That would be pretty dire, not going to lie. Because I remember the wait for Revolution of the Daleks feeling like an absolute eternity when that whole stuff was going on, because like, you know, we just kept getting like little tidbits and it was just going on forever, and like it felt like forever until we actually had a date for the thing. So yeah, hopefully we don't get in that situation again. But yeah, so some interesting stuff really going on at the minute. And I actually, there was another theory. I'll see if I can find it. I know it was from William who may or may not be watching. I know he does pop in sometimes. But if I can put it on Twitter, I'll pick one of my random many tweet slots, because obviously I had a lot of these prepared, because, you know, I like to be prepared for these things. Because I like the format to be nice and snappy when I can, you know. So, but William made the comparison that actually not even the comparison, the observation that there was a black bit right next to the white column, which everyone's been focusing on, which if I, oh, that's the wrong one again, if I shrink myself down again, I'll just go a bit smaller, and there we go, just make myself a bit smaller, and there. Right, so William made the point, and I know this is a bit off center, so I apologize for that. I'll see if I can, there we go. Right, so William made the point that if you look at the side here, like that looks to be Gallifreyan engraving on the side of that black bar. So he says, might just be me, but anyone else think those circles on the purple stand look like Gallifreyan language? Oh, I was calling it a black stand, but it could be a purple stand. Or it might be rotten. Or it might be rotten. Would it's the return of the really bad Christmas episode I don't like, where the aliens are wood? Oh, Dr. Widow of the Wardrobe. I think that could be Gallifreyan insignia. I can definitely see that. But also, thinking about it as well, if you look again at the original image here, what two colours are the big object in the middle? They're white and gold. And what colours have been associated with the Time Lords in the Chibnall era? I'll give you 5 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. Wait, let me see if I can... Why is it that when you're looking for a specific image, you can never find it, but then when you look for a one-off image, it's always there? Hang on, if I go to Timeless Children... well, just maybe Tectoon will do. Maybe they'll come up with that. Because obviously the one of the Time Lords is Tectoon's second incarnation. So maybe maybe not. No, okay. Fun. That's not what I wanted at all. It's all going wrong. Timeless Children, Time Lord, maybe. Basically, what I'm trying to get at is the people in the Timeless Children, the Time Lords in the time... Oh, there we go. Right. See here, what's the main colour of the Time Lords? White and gold. So maybe this is an ancient Time Lord device. Again, might be a bit of a stretch, but could very well be the case. Hello, Cabby Cat. Welcome to the stream. White and gold Imperial Daleks. Yeah, someone mentioned that it looked like an Imperial Daleks thing. But I mean, I'd love for them to come back. But yeah, so the main colour of the Time Lords in Series 12 is white and gold, which matches this alien device. So maybe maybe we are getting our first shot of ancient Gallifrey, and maybe that key was actually, you know, like materializing inside ancient Gallifrey. Because it would make logical sense if you think about it. You know, because obviously we see them build the Citadel in the Time of Children, but they're not going to go from primitive, you know, rock planet to big Gallifreyan Citadel society overnight. There's going to be a transitional period there, so I think it's logical to assume they may still have some castles on Gallifrey. And, getting more into this, because I am I'm not willing to say that I'm incorrect. Timeless children. I'm looking for that scene with the Master and the Doctor. The one where they're in that sort of grey place when they're inside the Matrix. Here. Look, what's that? Another plinth that looks like where the TARDIS key was. I think this is all connected. If it's not, I'm going to look like a goddamn crazy person, but I'm not the only one that's seeing these pieces and going, wait, that connects with that. Because if you look at them, they're even kind of a similar shape. They're even sort of a similar looking shape, and they're in a similar looking location with all rocks and hills. I think there's something more to this, personally. But I'm going to look like a crazy person if there isn't. But please tell me I'm not the only one who sees this. I miss This Is Gallifrey. Oh, that is such a good track. I agree. Yeah, I miss Russell T Davies in general. I miss RTD as well, but I miss Murray Gold a lot. Tardis, I'm already a certified crazy person. It's not too bad to be TBH. Fair enough. I love Doctor Who too, Alex Morris. Time Lord colours have always been red, white, and gold. Yeah, but there seems to be less of a focus on the red in the Chibnall era and more of a focus on the white. I feel like you're becoming that Always Sunny in Philadelphia meme with the conspiracy board. Someone please make that into a meme, please. I need to see me as that meme, try to connect all these plinths together. I love humans, always spotting patterns in things that aren't there. Yeah, you could. The Eighth Doctor. Maybe I should heed the Eighth Doctor's warning. Maybe it's just nothing, but it does seem awfully coincidental that all these things just happen to slot together. What's your favourite Doctor? It's Matt Smith is my favourite. The TARDIS in Series 13 the TARDIS in the 13th Doctor's reveal trailer wasn't a shoddy stock photo, but it's actually Eccleston's TARDIS 100%. I'm guessing, is that a joke or is that a real thing? Because that just looks like a PNG to me. Chibnall is smiling at us. Chibnall is smiling as he royally trolls us all. Yeah, that might actually be true. He might actually watch this stream and go, "What a fucking idiot." Maybe he is doing that. We don't know. But I mean, look, I just can't help seeing these patterns. They just seem awfully coincidental. I'd love Doctor Who is paralysed just after the first 15 semi-immortal hours, who spends the rest of their first series in a Professor X chair. I mean, I would love that. You know I'd love that. But, yeah. The Fourth Doctor once went to Gallifrey, but ended up on a different planet. It had grass, trees, and birds, and he said it didn't look like Gallifrey. True. Can you tell me what episode that is? Because maybe it all ties in. Because as well, you know, because Trenzalore was considered Gallifrey for a while, and that had like old school buildings. Even though it wasn't Gallifrey, it was just where the rift in time was. But yeah, Chibnall only had so many ideas. He's freaking that everyone's noticing he's reusing stuff. Yeah, Deadly Assassin. So if someone actually, Dan, if you could send me a picture of like a scene from that in Deadly Assassin, because we also know that Chibnall loves making obscure classic Who references. He literally puts a picture of the Morbius Doctors on screen, which is another Fourth Doctor story. So, you know, yeah. I mean, it could be the White Guardian. I mean, we did get references to the Guardians in Can You Hear Me? But, I mean, yeah, who knows about them? Yeah, Dan, if you could send me another image, I think I'd really appreciate that. Am I still in small screen? Yeah, I am. I'll just, yeah, I'll just go in big screen for a moment, just to cover up my DMs. Someone's on a motorbike. I'll just go big screen a minute, just to cover up my DMs for privacy, isn't it, cockers? Alright, let's go do that. I don't know, I'm talking like Hackatee Dog from... Yeah, if you could send it to me again, if you could send a picture, or I could just look up, Deadly... I'll just look it up. Deadly Assassin. Gallifrey. Maybe that's not the right thing. Maybe I'm... Because it's just showing pictures of Gallifrey at this point. but let me see if I can find any more things that could indicate indicate that it could indicate that it could tie into Deadly Assassin. Deadly Assassin, maybe opening. I'm just trying to see if I can find a shot of the fields in Deadly Assassin to see if we can tie all these crazy conspiracies together. I'm not really finding many good images, but if anyone can send me one through Twitter, again, at ThariesYT, as I mentioned earlier, I'd really appreciate that. But yeah, I mean, if it tied into Deadly Assassin, that would make an awful lot of sense, because as we know, Chibnall likes making very obscure Classic Who references that no one other than like 3 people in the audience are gonna get. So, yeah, maybe this is something that he's doing. Who knows? Series 13 rumours were like an untempered schism. Some are inspired, some run away, and in Terry's case, some go mad. Yeah, that is true. I feel like I go insane talking about this stuff, to be fair. Hacker Dog commented on a friend of mine's Instagram post. It was pretty nuts. T-Dog is from Basel. Is he originally? I just remember him as the ZBBC presenter. But before Hacker T-Dog was a thing, there was the Cactus. Does anyone remember the Cactus, or am I too old? I think they mean the Deadly Assassins. Okay, I'll see if I can look at the... I think I might have found one. Alright, I think I might have found a good image, actually. So I'll scoobly doobly doobly myself again. Yeah, this stream is just me slowly going insane. But yeah, look, if we look here, a forest, similar to the 13th Doctor's reveal trailer, which is also similar to this leaked filming image, which, you know, look, more forest. I think these things do fit together awfully well. I don't know about you guys. Maybe it's all coincidence, but see, look, he's even like, I'm guessing there's a Matrix thing going on there. It's been a long time since I tried to watch The Deadly Assassin, so my memory of it isn't that strong. But yeah, look, if we look at Tom Baker looking very distressed in a forest, you know, I think this could all be connected. I'm just saying. Opinions on Wizards vs. Aliens. Love that show. Just started Series 3. I never really got into it, to be honest. I watched a couple episodes, but I never really got into it. To be honest, I think like RTD probably burnt himself out a bit too much by then, personally. But Chibnall being inspired for this show is like Mr. Bean meme where he's copying that guy's work, but Chibnall is just stealing Thari's theories. Yeah. See, imagine if like he's watching this stream now, right, Chris Chibnall, and he's just going, write that down, you know, just making it seem like he planned it all from the beginning. Extract from Collins' dictionary, scoobly doobly doobly. To shrink down on oneself on a screen, invented by Tharies. Yeah, scoobly doobly doobly is my new word for when I go small mode on one of these live streams now. That is the official Tharies word of the day. Yeah, I just said my opinion on Wizards vs. Aliens, Ryan, who I'm not a big fan. I only watched a couple episodes. Yeah, hello, Chris Chibnall. Chris Chibnall, if you're watching this, I'm sorry. Darius, are you trying to link the fact that a forest in Doctor Who it must be something to do with Gallifrey? Yes! Essentially, I'm going off pretty much anything I can get at this point. Darius, try Gallifrey Tardis wiki page for more info about the landscape. Gallifrey Tardis wiki page. I'll just Gallifrey Tardis wiki. Okay, yeah. I'll just copy paste that, because I've used Tardis wiki. I just got a bit confused by the whole statement, but Wiki. This just reminds me of like Chibnall, in Confused Adipose Show in a video, Chibnall regenerates into Joe. I think he actually regenerates into me. I think that's all doctored footage. I think it's all a lie. Landscape, okay. From the planet's surface... Susan Foreman once described it as a brown-green, snow-caped planet. So it could be. From the planet's surface, it has an orange sky at night, snow-capped slopes of red grass, and trees with bright silver leaves. See if I can find anything about the forests. Known geographic features. Mountains. Rivers, lakes, oceans. Wow, there's actually a lot of detail. But yeah, so basically what this boils down to is one forest looks like other forest. But basically, hashtag Tardis true showrunner. Yes, spam that on Twitter. Do it right now. It was taken away from me. You know what? Joe Street manipulated the Matrix to make it look like I wasn't the showrunner this whole time. That's the reality of it. And I won't hear anything else about it. When the stream ends, do you think you could remove your mask and reveal yourself as Broadchurch creator Chris Chibnall? That would be hell of a twist, wouldn't it? That would be one hell of a twist. Yeah, just everyone spam that on Twitter right now. Hashtag Tardis True Showrunner. I will retweet it. I will retweet anyone who does it. Because it was stripped away from me. What if Chibnall reveals that Adric is the Timeless Child? That would be kind of hilarious, but also kind of, I guess, I don't even know how I'd react to the thought of Adric being showrunner. It's not something I've ever really thought to put too much thought or consideration into. Like the idea of like one of the most hated Doctor Who characters being the Timeless Child. I mean, there would be something quite beautiful about that, though, wouldn't it? One of the most hated arcs in the show's history being the Resolution being one of the most hated characters in the show's history. No hate to Matthew Waterhouse, but obviously, there's a lot of people who don't like Adric. That's just, a known fact, really. I wonder if Chibnall got the idea for Ruth, Doctor from the leaks, and changed the fugitive in a couple of days, and then did the Timeless Child. I mean, maybe. We don't know the truth. It could well be that's the case. I tweeted it at the BBC. Oh God. If I get BBC people coming to my house, I'm holding you personally responsible. It's Bubbles with a Z. I'm holding you personally responsible. When I said it's Bubbles with a Z, it just reminded me of when you say it's hyphen with a 3. It's like, shut up, hyphen with a 3. No one wanted to know. I heckin' love Dadrick. I mean, fair enough, but he's quite a controversial character, is what I'm getting at. Do you think that we'll see the Weeping Angels episode? Do you think we'll like the Weeping Angels episode? I honestly don't know. Because for me, the interesting thing will be it's the first time we're seeing the Weeping Angels written without Stephen Moffat's involvement, which is something we've never really seen before up to this point. So that's the really interesting thing for me. I hope it's not Chibnall writing them personally. I'd much prefer like Maxine Alderson or something. But yeah, I'm interested to see that for sure. Terry's hold me responsible. I'm the one who started the whole movement. I'm gonna actually check if this is a thing going on Twitter right now. I'm just gonna check if any of you have tweeted it. I'll retweet if I can see it. Someone apparently tweeted it at the BBC. I don't know. Oh God, I think Tardis might be going insane. Yeah. Sarah Jane Adventure CGI, Random Castle Hills, white and gold colour scheme, the Deadly Assassin. Yeah, it's all connected. I'm just gonna say, but guys, Mephisto. Mephisto. That's a nice bit of a WandaVision reference for any of you who get it. I love how that's got 4 likes. Yeah, I'll see if I can find anyone else's tweets about it. In fact, I can just type the tweet into, the leaks have gotten to his head. Shut up, John Luke. Yeah, I see you. Hashtag theories. True showrunner. True showrunner. Oh god, it actually comes up. What have I done? Oh, there's just one. I can only see one at the minute. But thank you, Angry Pacifist, for your support on the worldwide movement. Image of showrunner theories becomes more popular than release the game uncut. Yeah, this is the power that we have. We can create things. Witnessing this on stream is beauty. I agree. I absolutely agree. I think it's something that needs to be behold. Chibnall often scripts alternate endings in case there is a leak, and he needs to change it. I wonder if the timeless child had an alternative conclusion. That's very much possible, because I've heard that he does that. So yeah, that is very much possible. I did PM you with a death of the Doctor energy use. Okay, I'll take a look at that now. Hang on. Wait, why did you PM it? Because I haven't got anything on. Oh, hang on, I got a message request. There we go. I don't actually know. Oh yeah, you guys saw my DMs. Oops. But I'll see if I can have a look now. Ah, there we go. See, so that is actually a bit of a cursed image, to be fair. But yeah. So there is the other use of Artral Energy. Again, Sarah Jane Adventures, but it is interesting that it's always sort of used in a negative connotation. So, you know, the Tardis keep showing up with a bunch of Artral Energy around it may not be a good thing. But, yeah, that's basically the theory. Timeless Child is the alternate conclusion. But perhaps, we would never know. Hold on, pal, you're starting to sound like a movie villain. I am actually never the villain in any scenario, even if it sounds like I'm morally questionable. I am only ever the good guy. Never let anyone tell you otherwise, even if they have liable reasons. Cabbage is a damn green. I don't even, yeah. The dog's apparently been to the toilet, which is not. Harry's got robbed of his true job. Thank you, Bubbles. Appreciate that. Oh, God. BBC Doctor. Oh, my God. Oh, Jesus. The fact that that's actually been... I'll retweet it because I promised I would. And I'll retweet anyone else who's done it. But, yeah, yeah, I'll do that real quick. Yeah, I think the dog's just shit itself, which is not great. So I may go in a moment just to make sure that it doesn't interrupt the stream too much. But yeah, I think that about wraps up the what I basically came on to say. I tagged you in it on Twitter. Yeah, I just liked it. Don't worry, I just liked it. But that'll be the end of today's stream. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you later. Goodbye.